Well guys, I've been slacking on videos, so I thought I'd be doing something cool today. This will be the first time I've ever done this with a video, but let's do a full breakdown of my 1000 horsepower Miata. Alrighty, so let's start with the exterior first. So we have a beautiful, I'm not going to give you the color code, but it is a dark metallic green. I love this color. I mean, it's kind of dirty right now, but there's a lot of flake in it, a lot of metallic. Surratt Performance, my buddy Randy did the paint work. He did the exterior and the engine bay. Beautiful job, I love it. Let's see, in the front we have a Racing Beat Type 2 bumper. And this bumper I've actually had since 2012. No, actually no. 2011, I'm sorry. Got it in 2011. Was damaged, but we had repaired it and got it back to life. This bumper actually just had more fiberglass work done. So it's actually got no side markers anymore. My friend Derek at PMAR Fiberglass did that. So got some carbon Miata sequential front lights in the front. I do have the replacement for that one from my accident, but I'll get to that. We have a set of Jazz flush mount headlights. We have stock fenders, a stock aluminum hood. We have stock doors, no side mirrors. I got some Project G side windows with vents. I have OEM windows. This is a Ccp, also known as a Treasure Coast Miata hardtop. We got some Tuckin 99 rear flares. We got some carbon Miata taillights. Factory bumper cut with the VMS Racing, I don't know what to call that. An air dam? I don't know. But it's got the holes in it, the little speed holes. I thought it looked kind of cool when I did it. We got an old school auto connection 1.5 trunk. We got a carbon Miata finish panel. So as far as the exterior body panels, that's what we're working with. So all around, now they're very dirty. All around we have a set of VMS Racing. These are Delta wheels. They're 15x8 plus 20 all around. So the front wheels are identical to the wheels in the back. I got a set of Dunlop DZ102s. They are 205 55 15 fronts. And then here in the rear, we got a set of 275 50 15 Mickey Thompson ET Street R drag radials. So as you see, they sure do make quite a mess when I do burnouts on. You got, oh man, that's real bad. Yeah, there's a lot of burnouts back here. A lot of burnouts. We got a washer. So as far as the exterior, that is what we were working with. So now let's go ahead and look under the engine, under the hood. Let's look at the engine. Alrighty, so now let's lift up this very Swiss cheesed hood. And we have a GM 5.3 liter LS motor. So this came out of a 2005 Chevy Silverado. We had pulled it apart. I did work with my buddy Miggy, and I also worked with my machine shop CW Pence. So this engine in particular is an LM7. It's a 5.3 liter. It's a 2005. It has stock rods, pistons, and crank. The rods do have ARP rod bolts. We got a set of Cleveite bearings all around. It's got a Brian Tooley Racing Stage 2 turbo cam with the double valve spring, the hardened push rods, and the entire kit that they sell. We have a Holley low ram intake manifold with a TIC air to water intercooler. So between the intake manifold, there is an intercooler. So both of these hoses right here feed the ice water up to the intercooler. And like that, got a set of hooker headers that are rotated forward. We have a Y pipe that goes into my T6 collector. This is a Bullseye 85 millimeter turbo billet street series. We have a single 66 millimeter precision wastegate, and that kind of wraps it up here. Fuel system wise, we run a set of Snake Eater 210s, so they're 210 cc's each. Got a MagnaFuel fuel regulator, and then also in the rear we have a MagnaFuel 750 pump we will get to in a second. Very simple setup up here, nothing too crazy. It's just, I like to have everything dressed up looking pretty. Nice big old catch can. You know, everything is powder coated, everything is ceramic coated. I've always liked the look of the clean show car stuff. So that is the engine bay. So now, can't see, but underneath the car now, bolted to the engine, we run a FTI level 5 power glide. So that is good for, I think, over 1,500 horsepower. But being that this is a lighter car and whatnot, I can probably go a lot farther with this trans. We do have a PPP shifter. So that is a full power glide shifter with the air assisted ram. So it's not that I'm lazy and I don't want to shift once going down the track, but having the air shifter allows me to have repeatable data. So if I basically have the same tune in the car and I make 2 passes back to back, it could run up to 1,000th of a second difference between the 2 passes. It is very consistent once it starts going into making passes. So let's take the roof off and we will go into the interior stuff. So cool enough, like I said, this is the Ccp Fab Hardtop. This entire thing with the back window weighs like less than 20 pounds, so it's pretty ridiculous. It was already unbolted before I started making the video, because if you guys watched my last video, when we went to Streetcar Takeover Atlanta, I ran out of CO2. So I actually took Brian's bottle back, I filled up my bottle, and that's why I had the roof off, because you have to take the roof off to change the bottle. So from here we're looking at, we have a roll cage. It is an 850 serted cage. It is actually serted from the NHRA. So it's got the 2 down bars on each side. It's got the bar that goes from here down to there. It has a dash bar that connects in the center. We do have 1 roof bar. We got our 2 down bars. Now on the driver's side, what's really cool, even though I've used it like 3 times maybe, I'm just too lazy to kind of use it, but this bar actually swings out if I want it to. But ever since we added the window net, it just makes it more hard to swing out. So the window net goes in, it slides in this hole back here, and then it goes up and clicks in right here. So now I can run this net on either side of the bar, but if nobody really complains, I run on the outside. I know you're not supposed to, but for space wise, it works out for me. So roll cage, and that's my, safety stuff. What we have right here, which is my favorite part, a lot of people don't know I have this, but this is actually a Bluetooth radio from MTX. It is meant for handlebars of a motorcycle, and it works really well, especially me having a loud car. Since it's right above my ear, I can hear that radio. It drowns out every bit of noise, so it works out really well. Going into the inside, as of now, I still haven't mounted this guy. It kind of just sits with me in case I need it, which thankfully I haven't yet. We have a Motion Raceworks parachute handle, and like I said, we have the shifter. Custom made center console that's powder coated, and we also have a custom made carbon fiber dash piece, which I love. It's one of my favorite pieces of my car. Now this whole back section, you can tell all the factory stuff underneath is cut out. I don't run a factory fuel tank, so this is actually an AWR interior panel kit, which I don't think is available anymore, but it just gives the interior a very finished look. I'm a big fan of how this looks, and I do, have to take the top off once in a while to clean it back here. So let's take this off. Let's check out the inside. So as far as seats, we do have a set of Kirky racing seats. My driver one is 17-inch wide. My passenger one is 19-inch wide. Race equipped harnesses. As far as the interior, my friend Built by Hutch made me this awesome turtle vent. So that is that. I have a race hub. Now this is a factory steering column, but it's completely stripped down. No turn signals, no nothing like that. I run the Sparco steering wheel with my trans brake and my bump buttons here. So I have some switches here on the dash. That controls the power, the headlights, the left turn, right turn. The switch panel below is meant for the fuel tech stuff, so data logging, traction control, burnout, my scramble button, all that stuff is on there. And then this one is for all the chassis stuff, so fuel pump, fans, everything like that. So that's more or less the interior. And also I do have a set of LRB speed door panels. So I think that kind of wraps it up as far as the interior stuff. Can't think of anything else that just jumps out at me. So onwards to the trunk. Alrighty, so now let's go into the trunk of the car. So I have 2 quick latches on each side. We open the trunk, and I'm still very, very, very old school in the regards of let's take out my old stick and let's prop my hood up with a stick. So that is actually the handle for my engine hoist. And the theory is, as long as I don't need my engine hoist, I can use it to open my trunk. So this is basically how the trunk always is. The battery tender kind of stays in here, folded up of course, but let's take that out. So in the trunk, what we have is we have a 12-gallon RCI fuel cell. It is actually modified. So this has a larger feed. So we put another feed tube down inside. So this is a -12 feed up into the pump. I run a MagnaFuel 750 fuel pump there. And then underneath the car, it runs a -10 up until underneath. There is a second fuel filter with a Y block to go into 2 -8s. We have a 5.5-gallon ice box. So basically when we're drag racing, we go ahead and drain some of this water out. We put some ice in it. That way I can get my intake temps very cool. And actually down below, you can see it right through the hole. But this guy right here is a drain valve, but I can thread on a garden hose into here. That way, whenever we drain the water, we are not making a mess into our pits and getting wet, which is great. Over here, we have a big yellow top Optima, modified, but it's still in the stock location. We have my 300 amp circuit breaker, and we also have my solid state battery disconnect. And that'll kind of wrap up for the trunk. There ain't much in here. I mean, I did have to modify some of the metal to fit what I needed to fit in here. But other than that, it's not too complicated. Pretty simple. Now, I guess this is the part where I have to crawl on the ground. That way we can look at underneath, at least the back. I'm not going to look at the under the center. Under the center, that isn't much. I have a drive shaft tube and a nice aluminum drive shaft. But other than that, there ain't much pretty to look at. So the back is where all the magic happens. So let's get back down here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the light on for this. So down here, you can see I have the 2 air to water intercooler lines going under the car. Right here, I have a Racing Beat rear subframe brace. I have the V8 Roadster's 8.8 swap kit for the rear end differential. I run a Lincoln Mark 8 diff. It's got a 308 gear ratio and it's got a spool. So the rear tires are always locked. Out here, we have the set of rear BC Racing BR drag coilovers, which I just recently changed to, and I've had a lot of success already with them. We have the V8 Roadster's upper and lower rear control arms. These have spherical bearings instead of your typical rubber bushings, so they are very strong. And I have a set of 1,000 horsepower rated drive shaft shop axles. Still running factory spindles, but we do have the larger drive shaft shop hub. And you can see there, it's got the 31 spline. That's kind of hard to see. It's got the 31 spline dealio going on in there. It's so hard if you look down here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the rear. I mean, nothing too fancy. I do have a set of NB Miata sport brakes in the rear. And up in the front, we do have a set of Willwood 4-piston brakes I will show in just a second. Other than that, there ain't much to look at down here. And then also we have a wonderful Kurt trailer hitch. Yeah, buddy. Trailer hitch, and I got the wiring for that too. So, and then I have a custom-made parachute assembly. So basically this has tied into where the factory rear crash bar is. You can see it's a bolt-in dealio here. And it just it connects across the center. And then I have a Stroud 410 parachute and a custom turtle tag. And as I just mentioned, I have a set of Willwood front brakes. These are 4-piston with the 11-inch rotors. So I've had this car over 10 years now. It's been through a lot of build phases. It was actually supposed to be my daily driver because I had blown up my Mazda Speed 3 at the time when that was supposed to be my daily driver. And this turned into a 10-year long build. I've fallen in love with the car and it keeps growing into more and more each day. Don't know the limits of what it's gonna do, but I know for a fact this car particularly, I will always keep. And if anything ever happens, I let it go. This car will never be sold. It will be cut up and scrapped. I will never let anyone else own the car besides myself, just for personal reasons. I mean, this car has pretty much done everything for me. This is my resume. I have built this car with my 2 hands since the day I got it. I've painted it. I've done a lot of little tidbits as far as fabrication. I've been there every step of the way when the fabrication on the turbo stuff has been done. I have wired it myself front to back numerous times, different setups and whatnot. So I mean, it means a lot to me. There's been thousands of hours of labor wrapped up in this car, especially by myself. But yeah, I mean, that's a front to back look at what's gone in, what I have in this car currently. I wish I could be a grudge racer, but I've been very open on what this car has. The car has been very quick now. My personal best to date, and this is what, May 28th. The car has been an 829 at 166 in the quarter. I do continue to, I still want to improve upon that. Now we do have stock internals, stock rods and pistons, so I don't know how much more I want to push this engine before taking it apart and actually doing rods and pistons. Not decided yet. But I know my personal goal for this year is to run a 7-second quarter-mile pass. When, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be soon. I don't know if it'll be after drag week and whatnot. But that is my goal for this year. So just a good look at inside what is going on with my Turtle. And like I said, this is it's my baby. I'm very proud of this car. I mean, it's not no SEMA build, perfect build. I know I've been criticized a ton on Instagram with my terrible welding and all that stuff. I mean, I'm a human and I'm not a professional. I'm not a perfect person. There is flaws with this car. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but you know, no matter what, I am still proud of what I built. So anyway, comment down below if you guys have any questions about the car, anything I didn't cover that you want to know, or anything in those regards. I mean, obviously I've had this car for so long, I forget what a normal Miata has. Like just talking to you right now, I completely forgot that I had shaved where the factory antenna was and where the factory filler neck for the gas is. You know, stuff like that, I completely forget that I have removed. But, you know, comment down below if there's anything you guys have questions about. I mean, I should know every answer that anyone has, but I guess we'll see. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.